You're watching BATV, bringing Brookline home.
Why, everywhere you go, sunshine follows you. Everywhere you go, skies are always blue. Children love you, they seem to know. You bring roses up from the snow. Oh, the whole world says hello. Everywhere you go.
Welcome to the Seymour Ziskend Show and All Ships at Sea, broadcasting from Brookline, Massachusetts, the United States of America. And here is your host, the one and only Seymour Ziskend. Take it away, Seymour.
Thank you, Terry, and hello all you wonderful people out there. Well, get yourselves a snack, relax. We've got a great program for you. I am honored to have the new Consul General from the Republic of Turkey. And I must tell you, he's going to talk about parts of Turkey, and you're going to enjoy every moment of it. I'd like to introduce you to my good friend, the Consul General of Turkey, Barak Kareti.
Thank you, Seymour.
My honor having you
It's
here.
my pleasure indeed. Thanks for having me and giving me the opportunity to talk about Turkey.
Absolutely.
Thank you. So, shall we start discussing
You
Turkey?
go right ahead.
Thank you.
Talk about this country, rectangular in size.
Sure.
It's all yours, Barak.
Thank you. Well, let me first start by giving a brief overview of Turkey at the outset, then we can go into the details about Turkey. So I must say that Turkey as a country which has been steadily increasing its reputation in the global tourism industry, with a growing number of tourists visiting each year, offers a blend of historical, contemporary, unique and diverse tourism experiences. And according to World Tourism Organization's data, Turkey overtook the United Kingdom to become the 6th most visited country in the world. So why Turkey is the most visited country in the world? And I would like to share a picture, a slide with you. This is actually a view from Golden Horn, Istanbul, which is a great view, I must say. If you look at this map, actually Turkey is a very centrally located country. So it is a natural bridge between east-west and north-south axis, thus creating an efficient and cost-effective outlet to major markets. It also offers an easy access to 1.5 billion customers, visitors in Europe, in Eurasia, in Middle East and North Africa. Another reason is that Turkey has a booming economy, 18th largest in the world and 7th largest in Europe. The economy has been growing by more than 5% on average annually over the last 10 years. It has a large population, 75 million, and it has the largest youth population as compared to the EU. Half of the population is under the age of 30. And it has a qualified and competent labor force, over 26 million young, dynamic, well-educated, highly qualified professionals. And Turkey has a friendly and liberal investment climate. It is one of the biggest reformers among OECD countries in terms of removing the restrictions against foreign direct investment. Necessary regulations have been put in place to create a friendly, favorable environment for foreign direct investment. There's a strong government support behind the industry. And also there are incentives and low tax policies in place for both domestic and foreign investors. So this is a little bit an overview of Turkey. Now I would like to move into to discuss the top 10 reasons to travel to Turkey. Why should people visit Turkey, in other words? And this is a view of Topkapı Palace in Istanbul. Topkapı Palace is a large palace in Istanbul, and it was the primary residence of the Ottoman sultans for approximately 400 years. It was built in 15th century, in mid-15th century, and it continued to be the residence of the Ottoman sultans until mid-19th century. So the very first reason is the Turkey's rich and diverse history and archaeological sites. In fact, Turkey is the birthplace of many civilizations, empires, historic figures, and legends. It is considered to be one of the richest countries in terms of archaeology, and it is by far the biggest open-air museum in the world. Turkey bears the remnants of many civilizations. Even the world's first known human settlement, which is dating back to 6,500 BC, is in Turkey at Çatalhöyük. And
to the people watching the show, just listen to what he just said. 6,000 years BC.
Yep.
Think of that.
And this is the first known human settlement, I must say. And there are also many remnants of many civilizations, as I said, Hittites, Phrygians, Urartians, Lydians, Ionians, Macedonians, Persian Empire, Romans, Byzantine, Seljuks, and ultimately the Ottoman Empire. So this picture is, for instance, from Ephesus. Ephesus dates back to Roman Empire, and it is in the western part of Turkey. It is like an open-air museum. Another picture is from Şanlıurfa, which is in the southeastern part of Turkey. This is also an archaeological site, the name of which is Göbekli Tepe, Göbekli Hill. Tepe means hill.
These are carvings, am I correct?
Well, these are, carving, and also some of them are inscriptions. There are some letters and some pictures carved on stone.
They go back many years.
That's right. That's right.
But think of the people that created these statues. They were great people to be able to do that without the modern tools that we have.
And we are very lucky that we could manage to preserve all these artifacts till today, and now they are being offered to people for them to be able to come over and visit and have this experience. And this is the ancient city in Antalya. Antalya is a very important tourism destination in Mediterranean region of Turkey, and this is this big theater is Aspendos.
That's the Mediterranean.
Yes.
You also have the Black Sea.
We have Black Sea, Aegean Sea,
yes,
and Mediterranean. Turkey is like a semi-peninsula, actually, surrounded by sea on three sides.
There's plenty of beaches there.
That's right. I will talk about it later on.
Go right ahead.
This is also from the northwestern part of Turkey, Athena Temple at Assos, Çanakkale. These are all great places. This is from the southeastern part of Turkey, from Mardin. And also Sümela Monastery from Trabzon, from Black Sea region. This is a monastery like, it is like placed inside this mountain.
Yes.
It's a marvelous place. I've been there and it was fantastic. So, and the second, the last one, the last picture that I would like to share is the Hagia Sophia. This is a great place in Istanbul, and I would like to talk about a little bit more.
We'd like to hear it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hagia Sophia is famous for its massive dome. It is considered the epitome of Byzantine architecture, and it served as a cathedral for more than 900 years and as a mosque for more than 400 years before becoming a museum in 1935. It was built by Byzantine Emperor Constantine in the 4th century and reconstructed by Justinian in 6th century AD. And it was the greatest church in Christendom for 1,000 years. And it remains an architectural masterpiece to this day. And its immense dome rises about 200 feet above the ground.
200 feet
above the ground, yes. This immense dome. And it is more than 100 feet in diameter. That's one of the points which makes it very unique and special. And the Ottomans converted this basilica to a mosque in 15th century. But today, the Hagia Sophia serves as a public museum, and it's known for its majestic serenity and very fine Byzantine mosaics. It's a very special place. Since we are talking about history and Turkey's historical features, I would like to say also that Turkey has 11 heritages on the UNESCO World Heritage listing as of 2012, and this picture, this slide actually covers some pictures of these sites. For instance, one of the most prominent sites is Troy, which is in Çanakkale. Troy is right in the middle.
Troy.
This archaeological site of Troy is in Turkey, and it is in the World Heritage listing. We have 11 sites which have already been placed, and also there is historic sites of Istanbul are also in the listing. You can see from this picture Hagia Sophia, Blue Mosque, all these historic areas. There are Safranbolu houses, which is in the northern part of Turkey, and these houses also are very unique and authentic type of houses. These are also in the World Heritage listing. And in addition to these, another 37 sites have also been submitted to be placed in the World Heritage listing. Besides that, I want to also tell something that more than 400 archaeological projects were underway in Turkey in 2012, and some of these major archaeological projects are being conducted by the U.S. institutions. There is also one carried out by Harvard University in Turkey. So maybe now we can move into discuss the natural beauties of Turkey. Enough about history. Turkey has matchless and breathtaking natural beauties. One of them is Pamukkale, which means cotton castle. If you literally translate from English to Turkish, Turkish to English, it means cotton castle. Pamukkale was created by springs in a cliff almost 650 feet above the calcite-laden waters. It is an unreal landscape of mineral forests, petrified waterfalls, and a series of terraced basins. Another one is Cappadocia, which is very well known in the US because many American friends are going to Turkey, and maybe one of the things that they do in Turkey to visit Cappadocia. This place, Göreme Valley and Cappadocia, It is entirely sculpted by erosion and contains rough-hewn sanctuaries.
Now, what do we see in this picture as we view it? We have, what are those orange, are those balloons?
These are balloons. Yeah, I'm going to talk about this. There's a chance to ride balloons in Cappadocia, and you have the chance to have an overview of all the valley.
So the balloons will take people up.
That's right. Early in the morning, at the sunset, the dawn, and then you have the nice overview of the valley.
Now, this is what city?
Sorry?
What city is that?
It is in Nevşehir, which is right in the central part of Turkey. And this is a small town actually of Nevşehir, but it's very famous, as I said, because of the landscape, because it's very natural.
How far is this city from Ankara, the capital?
From Ankara, it is about, I must say, 4 hours by car.
Well, that's not far.
It's not far. It's not far.
And you're going to talk about Istanbul?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, we can't miss this program.
Sure.
Oh, this is fascinating.
Well, as I said, Cappadocia is a place that is entirely sculpted by erosion and contains rough-hewn sanctuaries with evidence of 6th century Byzantine art. One can find also dwellings, troglodyte villages, and underground cities that could accommodate up to 4,000 residents dating back the 4th century AD. And this is another picture from Cappadocia.
These are the remains.
Well, actually, these are, as I said, sculpted by erosion. I mean, these are naturally created sanctuaries. And even there are some underground cities under these, stone sanctuaries, and these are, very popular and very famous and very well known, actually, a place for. This is one of the highlights of Turkey.
Yes, centuries and centuries ago.
Yeah, 4th century AD.
Fascinating.
It is. And now I would like to talk about a little bit about the culture tradition in Turkey. And before doing so, I would also like to share this picture. This is from our southern shores, from Antalya, Fethiye. We call it Blue Lagoon.
What are we viewing here?
It is one of the shores in Mediterranean part of Turkey, and it is a Blue Lagoon in Fethiye, Antalya.
Is that? It looks like a mountain out there.
Yes, indeed.
But that's not Mount Ararat. That's one of the highest mountains in the world. It's 16,000 feet high.
Mount Ararat.
Right.
Yes, it is.
And all you people, if you're mountain climbers, that is the place to go.
I have also a picture about mountain. And I would like to talk about this culture, tradition, lots of cultural events, arts exhibitions, operas, concerts taking place in Turkey. And this is Aspendos Antique Theater in Antalya. And, there are lots of activities. And this represents the diverse mix of Turkey, actually, because Turkey is a diverse mix of different ethnic origins, and that can be seen throughout different regions of the country. Each region has its own traditions, art, music, and folklore. Even the cuisine varies by region.
Now, what they're wearing now, what time of the year is this?
This is actually,
the summer?
But normally this is a traditional way of clothes. These are traditional clothes. Normally these are not worn by people today. But this is a folkloric and traditional costume, I must say. In some cultural activities.
This is everyday wear.
No, this is not an everyday wear. This is actually, I think these ladies' costume is just a specific performance.
Do they dance?
Yes, the
Really?
folkloric dance. Yes.
Well, in the future, coming up when we have another show, perhaps you can have some Turkish dances on the show.
Why not?
Great.
Yeah, we can arrange that.
All you people out there, how about that? That would be.
I'm sure they're gonna enjoy it, right?
Well, as we speak now, I'm inviting you back again to have that show and have these people out there see this.
Hopefully, yes.
And I'll be honest with you, I'll be waiting really.
Maybe you can join them. Huh?
Oh, indeed. This is a good time to mention this, but my daughter was in Turkey and she visited Istanbul, and she said, it's a magical city. She says, it's beautiful. She enjoyed it so much. So many of you people watching, that may be a place for you to visit. I know I would have. If my wife were living, I'd say to Barack right now, Barack, I'm taking my wife and we're leaving.
And I would definitely issue the visa very quickly.
That's great.
Thank you. And I would like to talk also about the sun and sea lovers paradise.
Yes.
Turkey is offering many experiences in that sense as well. With 4,500 miles of coastline and the unique Mediterranean climate, Turkey has almost 6 months of summertime, especially
really?
in the south, near Antalya, Bodrum, Fethiye. And these are the country's most popular sun and sea tourist destinations. And these pictures, I think, can give the sense for those who would like to have some sun and sea experience. I'm sure they will find a lot in Turkey in this sense. Now I think we can talk about Turkish food, Turkish cuisine.
Yes.
Because Turkey, I mean, it's a kind of fusion of Mediterranean and Middle Eastern dishes. And Turkish cuisine is considered among the best cuisines in the world, featuring Turkish kebabs, Turkish tea, Turkish coffee, and Turkish delight, which you can find all over the country. And Turkey's multicultural heritage has generated an urbanely and purist cuisine, strong on grilled meats, which we can see from this picture, and seafood, salads.
Seafood must be great with all these oceans here.
Yes, we are very much rich in that sense as well. You know, fruits, vegetables, Turkish delight, Turkish desserts. You know, so many things. While simplicity is a hallmark of Turkish cooking, the cuisine has a density of flavor and texture as well as an extraordinary variety. For instance, eggplant only it can be prepared in 40 different ways. It has an, I mean, there is a centuries-long influence of an imperial palace, as in the case of two other grand world cuisines, which are the Chinese and French. We have a culture in which the preparation and serving of food is a kind of important ritual of everyday life. So it is important for us. This is spice market in Istanbul, where you can find all kinds of spices and foods, dried vegetable, dried fruits.
I'm sorry.
Sure.
As I understand it, Turkey has the 7th largest bazaar in the world.
Yes,
for shopping centers.
Grand Bazaar in Istanbul must be one of them. Ankara is also host to a big open bazaar in the capital city. But the most famous is the Grand Bazaar in Istanbul. I will show this picture while we talk about the shopping facilities in Turkey. And I will have this slides very quickly. This is, you know, a restaurant looking over the Bosphorus.
Right on the
nightlife,
On the
you have
water.
people entertaining themselves. Unique experiences in Turkey, Turkish hammam, Turkish bath and spa, and this is a very unique experience that is an absolute must to relax because it is a combination of traditional hammam experience and also Far Eastern touches like aromatic scents and also traditional Turkish massage.
Well, I must tell all you people watching this show, you've heard people say, I'd like to have a Turkish bath, without even knowing where this originated from. Well, you just heard it. It's from Turkey.
That's right.
And if you want to feel better, it pays to go to Turkey just for the Turkish baths.
That's
How
right.
about that, Burak?
Yes, I think we should encourage them. So maybe now I should talk about the adventures and some adventures and sport activities that
We
one
have
can
about
enjoy.
2 minutes left,
Sure.
or a minute left.
Turkey is the right place to visit for many sport activities. Paragliding, for instance, trekking, mountain biking, surfing, skiing, and which you can see from this picture. You can do mountain biking or ride a balloon in Cappadocia. You can ski in one of the best ski resorts in Turkey. You can climb mountains. And also shopping is also important. Turkey is a shopping paradise, especially for ladies. Carpets, rugs, kilim are tourist favorite items for shopping. And Istanbul, the Grand Bazaar in Istanbul is an important place for shopping. It's not only carpets, rugs, of course, it is more than that. You can find leather goods, pottery, and spices and tea. And also you have a wide variety of accommodation facilities in Turkey. Turkey has some of the most amazing luxury and boutique hotels in the world. This is an hotel looking over the Bosphorus, and you can also find cave hotels in Cappadocia. This is also a unique experience, I must say. And also you can find many boutique hotels around the country.
Unfortunately, we only have probably a half a minute left.
Sure.
And you people watching the show out there, there's so much to talk about when we're talking about Turkey. And I must say, you gave a great presentation.
Thank you so much.
Turkey. I really enjoyed
Thank you.
this
Maybe
so
half an hour
much.
is not enough to cover all of them.
So we already have a date for the next one. All we need is the date. But
Sure.
we're going to set up another Turkish show with Turkish dances and music. You don't want to miss this. And so, all you wonderful people, I do hope you enjoyed the show and my wonderful brand new Consul General from Turkey for being my guest. I'm honored and privileged. I learned a lot and enjoyed it so much. So for now, I will say adios, auf Wiedersehen, shalom, sayonara, yasa, and as they say in Turkish, goodbye.
Güle güle.
How about that? And to all you people, sei gesund, which means stay well until we meet again. Bye-bye for now.